Hello YouTube, it's Rom from Ramen Noodle CCG, and yesterday I played at the Philadelphia Regionals. I finished 47th place at a 647 player tournament. And yeah, I got my invite to nationals. I'm very happy with this. I've never had a nationals invite before, and although I wasn't like the best player in the room and I didn't play perfectly, I'm still very happy with how I did, and I would like to share the Maliss list that got me there. So for a bit of background, I've been playing Maliss ever since I got back from YCS Orlando, so it's about 6 weeks, give or take a week or two. So I'm fairly experienced, but I'm not like a Malice god or anything, but this is my findings. So let's get started with the list. So for the Malice monsters, I am playing 3 Dormouse, 3 White Rabbits, and 2 Chessy Cats. So White Rabbit and Dormouse are your main starters. This is like a Conahawk. Yeah, Dormouse is crazy. The 600 attack boost comes up sometimes. The destruction protection almost never comes up, but like it can come up. It came up in testing, but not at the events. Yeah, these are your main starters. Chessy Cat's draw 2 is kind of crazy. I feel like I've been using this a lot more, and I've gotten a lot better at using it. I've been using it more liberally. Like if I open Dormouse plus White Rabbit, I go Dormouse, Banish, Chessy Cat. So all of the Malice monsters, when they're banished, they pay 300 to revive themselves back. So yeah, that's how your combos work. You banish your guys and then they bring themselves back. So obviously these are your main starters, so you never side them out. Sometimes I side out the 1 Chessy Cat. Some people are on 1 Chessy Cat or 3 Chessy Cat. I feel like 2 is a pretty reliable number. I feel like 3 would definitely clog. Because it doesn't do anything on its own. You need either another Malice name or a Bestial or something. Some sort of either extender or just a Malice card to make that work. Whereas the other 2 do the combo on their own. Moving on to some other Malice cards. We have 3 copies of Malice in Underground. This is just basically Gold Sark on a field spell. It can banish from hand or graveyard as well. Banishing from grave is pretty cool. It also boosts your Malice Link monster's attack if all 3 of your Malice traps are banished. This comes up sometimes. It helps you close out games. The fact that it forces your opponent to attack Malice Link monsters can come up when you're protecting like a Nightmare Griffin, but it's a little cheesy, but it helps. I am playing 1 of each Malice trap. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. This summons from deck, this searches and banishes, this revives. So some people were telling me that I should be siding out TB11 going second. I kind of don't agree with that. I feel like drawing these 2 traps, while not amazing, they help you play through stuff. Because the Malice traps can be activated the turn they're set by banishing a Malice monster for cost. So essentially, this is a way to dodge targeted interaction and just like play through stuff. So yeah, I'm not siding this out. Maybe if you're playing like Fiendsmith Malice, you can do that, but I'm not. So yeah, pretty standard stuff so far. Moving on to some consistency spells, I'm playing some pretty standard stuff. I'm playing the 1 Terraforming to search Underground, the 1 Gold Sark to banish Malice monsters. It's like Underground, except it's not once per turn. You can't recycle this or anything, but it's like a second Underground. You know what I mean. And I'm playing 2 copies of Allure of Darkness. So this is my first time playing Allure. I resisted this for a long time. I've always believed that Signet Mining is a lot better, because if you're playing Allure of Darkness, obviously the issue with draw spells is that going second, drawing into hand traps kind of sucks, right? If you go Allure of Darkness, draw Effective Veiler, you're going to feel like an idiot. So that's why I was always playing Mining. So I was playing one mining and an extender instead of the two allures. But the extender that I was playing, EMP Meow Mine, just wasn't feeling as good this time. So post Maze of the Master, Pure Ryzeal's crazy. Like Fiendsmith Ryzeal has kind of been pushed out of the metagame a little bit, and been replaced by Pure Ryzeal as like the best deck. So there's a lot more Pure Ryzeal, and when you're playing Meow Mine, there needs to be a Link monster on the field of the graveyard to special summon it. So obviously you make Link monsters, but the real draw of it is the fact that your opponent usually has Link monsters that allows you to just summon it like a free summon. But against Pure Ryzeal, that doesn't happen. So it's just kind of a really crappy extender. And I felt like I just wanted the allures for extra consistency and just like going second and stuff. Because sometimes you can get like names clogged in hand, and allure can like help like extend combos and stuff. And we'll talk about the hand trap lineup, but I'm playing less hand traps that suck to draw off of allure. And I think that made allure a lot more comfortable for me. And yeah, some people like 3, you could play 3 or 1, but this felt like a good number. Speaking of cards that vary wildly between lists, I am playing 6 Bystials. Some people like more. I was going to say some people like less, but I don't think anybody plays less than 6. So starting off, we have the 1 Magnemite, because it's limited and it's broken. We have 2 Baldrake, and 3 copies of Druid's Worm. Shout out to my boy Jacob, who hooked me up with his Druid's Worm. I only owned 2 before this, but now I have a 3rd one. The Druid's Worm is broken. I'm glad I have 3. I really regret selling my 3rd one, but whatever. It's fine. So yeah, these felt really good. Bystials are just good extenders, and they also are good disruption. They're not great disruption, at least this format. Bystials are not that great against Pure Ryzeal. Druid's Worm is, but the rest are not. Magnemite is fine because it just gets you Druid's Worm, but Baldrake is just not that great. I was playing Saronir for a while, but Saronir kind of sucks. You can, like, Saronir dump Magnemite, the Firewall Dragon back to Magnemite, but it's not that great. So I'm glad I finally cut the Saronir for a 3rd Druid's Worm. Yeah, I did not feel like I needed more Bystials. Before we talk about the hand traps, I have a few power spells that I am playing at main deck. I am playing 2 copies of Triple Tactics Thrust and the 1 talent to go with it. These cards are crazy, especially in Maliss. So, Triple Tactics talent does have the restriction where you can't activate the cards you set off of it the turn you set it. So I thought you could like set traps and then activate them, kind of like you would do with Unchained, but that's not how this works. So that was like super early on in my testing. But even so, with those restrictions, this is still crazy. Your opponent will like Fualos you, hit you with like Nib and stuff. So being able to set some powerful trap cards like your Maliss traps, or search talent, is very, very strong. And it's also very flexible. Like this stuff is solid going second too. Just being able to like talents take a detonator was kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean these are just really solid cards. And I'm definitely glad I played them in the main. A lot of people like citing them, but I feel like they were really good main. So I'm happy that I played them. Moving on to the non-Bystial hand traps, I am playing 13 regular hand traps. Starting off, we have 3 copies of Ash Blossom. This card is really generic. It stops the Mulcharmies. I am playing 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. Droll is broken as hell this format. Genuinely, it's great against everything except the Maliss Mirror. It's okay against Fiendsmith Ryzeal. It's great against Pure Ryzeal, White Forest, Blue Eyes. Just kind of blows at everything. I'm really happy I played this card. This card was great all day. Like a lot of random rogue stuff gets hit by Droll. Droll was like really good against Tyr and Gimmick Puppet. Just very, very good. It was even decent against the Odeon deck, which I was kind of surprised by. But Yeah, this card was crazy. I was playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. So this differs heavily from what I was playing before. I was actually playing none of this card before. So the issue I ran into with Imperm was in a Fiendsmith Ryziel dominated format. Imperm was conflicting with the Bastiles. So when you're playing against Fiendsmith Ryziel, if your opponent's hand is like a Fiendsmith starter plus ice, your opponent's going to start Engraver, right? So if your opponent starts with the Fiendsmith combo, you want to drop a Bastille on the Engraver. But to do that, you have to use the Bastille first. So then the Imperm is dead. But with less Fiendsmith Ryziel on the format, and more pure Ryziel on the format, Bastilles are just more like pure extenders that you basically use a lot more during end phase. So you're comfortable firing at Imperm first. So that's why I'm playing Imperm now. Yeah, this card is great. It's a lot better of a top deck. Like, you can allure into Imperm, and it is very, very strong. I am super happy I played this card. I am playing, for my non-3-ofs, I'm playing 2 copies of Dominus Impulse. This card is broken as hell. It's not great against Ryziel, but it's still usable against Ryziel because now that Pure Ryziel is doing like the little shark combo, they make totally awesome, so you can Impulse Bahamut Shark. I only own 2 Dominus Impulse right now. I might get a third one later. If I do get a third one, I will probably play 3 in this deck. This card is crazy. I'm also playing 2 copies of Effective Ailer. So, to round out the 40-card main deck, I wanted more hand traps. Effective Ailer is pretty solid. It's pretty generic. And I thought it just had decent matchup coverage. It's decent against the Blue Eyes. It's okay against Ryziel. It's, like, okay against everything, basically. So I actually missed the train today, deciding whether or not this second Effective Ailer should be a Ghost Ogre or not. And spoiler alert, it turned out that Ghost Ogre would have actually been crazy, because I saw so much Blue Eyes all day. I saw tons and tons of Blue Eyes. And Ogre's great against Blue Eyes, so maybe this should have been Ogre. Maybe I should have been playing multiple Ogre, but yeah, I went with Valor instead, and it was okay. It's okay. So moving on to the extra deck, I am playing 1 of each Maliss Link monster. You don't need more than 1. These cards are all crazy in their own right. Whitebinder, just being able to set your traps from deck is great. She recycles your traps. She banishes stuff from grave. She's like a beautiful, lovely woman. Yeah. Red Ransom doesn't come up that much, but being able to search your field spell is nice. Yeah, she gives you follow-up and stuff. Heartscriptor is good too. This is incredible for when you're under Shifter, usually your own Shifter. You just make Heartscriptor and just start banishing your opponent's stuff. It's great for like grind games and stuff. Making Heartscriptor is a way to OTK because she doubles her attack. You can like Heartscriptor banish herself, and then she comes back boosted. So it's plus 600 from the Dormouse, so she swings for 31, banishes herself, comes back, swings for 56, and that's game. Heartscriptor is the one I summon off of IP Masquerena most often. Yeah, this card is crazy. But doesn't get used as much as the other ones. The attack switching effect of Red Ransom is insane. This comes up all the time. This makes it really annoying for your opponent to beat over your stuff, because you're freaking flipping the stats around. It's crazy. So yeah, those are the Maliss Link ones. Or Maliss Links, excuse me. Speaking of Link ones, we have the GOATs. These crazy Link ones, Link Garibo and Link Decoder. So Link Decoder is the one that everybody plays. This is just like a little extender from the extra deck. You make this before you make your Link 3s, and then it just comes back as an extra Link material. This helps you climb into like Firewall Dragon and stuff, among other things. Like, it helps you climb between the links. It's quite good. The one card that people are starting to cut from Maliss lists, and I don't understand why, is Lingaribo. So Lingaribo, I think, is broken as hell, and you really should be playing this card. The fact that it's a trap negate helps you play around things like Dominus Impulse and Imperm, and play into set back row really well. It's not amazing because it doesn't negate trap card effects. It only negates the activation of trap cards. So it doesn't stop True Light, which would be kind of nice. Some people didn't know that, though, and they negated this anyway, which I thought was kind of interesting. But yeah, Lingaribo is great. I think you should be playing it if you're not already. If you noticed, I'm not playing Metaltronus, so I don't need Metaltronus targets. So yeah, I'm free to play just 15 Link monsters and just have a bunch of nice flex slots. But like, this is not a flex slot. Don't cut this. It's crazy, especially in the Maliss mirror, because like, it forces out your opponent's traps really early. And it's just really good for the mirror. Moving on to some Link 2s. We have the combo enablers Haggard Lizardos and Splash Mage. Haggard Lizardos is really important. This comes up all the time, basically in all your combos. Everything that starts with like a normal summoned monster, you go Lizardos to banish your monsters for cost, and then modify the stats of a monster on the field. Oftentimes, you can modify the attack of your opponent's monsters. This didn't come up with the YCS, but at locals, I was able to modulate the attack of a Mermail Abyss Gaios, and then have it to negate, like, not live. It was really good. This is part of, like, all the combos. You never use the draw effects, because you want to be banishing your Maliss names. Splash Mage is good as well. It's a little more restrictive because it locks you into Cyberses, and it requires 2 Cyberses, but it's really important for your combos that don't start with an normal summoned monster. If you start Gold Sark and you have no other combo pieces, or if you start Underground, you need Splash Mage to climb up into your Link 3s, because you have to use the Summon from Banish effects instantly. So you don't have the luxury of banishing something again, because you've already banished it. So, yeah. Onto some more utility Link 2s. I guess we'll start with, like, the obvious ones. IP and SP. These cards are crazy. So SP is not only removal, but it is also a combo piece. So there's some lines where you go SP, you link into SP, banish Maliss Link from graveyard, and then trigger its effects. Because Haggard Lizardos only banishes small monsters, you need SP to banish Link monsters, or you just banish your opponent's cards with SP, like a normal person. IP Masquerade is broken as hell in this deck. I can't believe there was a time when I was not playing this card. This card comes up all the time. If you get hit with, like, anything, you just make IP Masquerade and pass. You have Bestials to, like, give yourself more material. For example, if you get hit with something like, let's say, a Fualos, if you go normal Dormouse, summon White Rabbit, you get hit with Fualos, you can White Rabbit set GWC, and then just make IP and pass. So the GWC will bring back the White Rabbit will set MTPO7, and then you can link into White Binder. Or Heart Cryptor if you have a Bestial. And it's very, very strong. So don't underestimate, like, the small IP boards. This is crazy. Yeah, there's, like, other boards. I like to end on IP Masquerade and, like, my full combo board, which I'll talk about when I get to the Link 4s. On to some other Link 2s, some slightly more niche ones. I'm playing the Dark Charmer and Nightmare Cerberus. So this was originally Nightmare Phoenix, but Chaos Hunter exists, and I want an out to Chaos Hunter. So I'm playing Cerberus. I never got Chaos Hunter today. I never summoned this today, actually. My opponent summoned it in the Maliss mirror, and it actually lost him the game. Not saying Cerberus is a bad card, because Chaos Hunter is in the format, and we need to be prepared for it, but it can come up. The fact that it's a Fiend for a Bow comes up too. Dark is a really interesting case. This came up once. This is mainly for the Maliss mirror, but, like, you can do stuff with it in, like, matchups that play Bestials. Like, taking your opponent's Magnemite is kind of crazy. You could just make this against certain decks. If your hand sucks and you have like 2 Bystials, you can make Dark Crash and then search a Maliss Dormouse. It's a really sad way to start your combo, but it does start your combo. This came in clutch in the Maliss Mirror. I played a Maliss Mirror in, I believe it was round 8, where we were going into time. I had 100 less life points than my opponent. I had Thrust and Talent in hand. I went Talent first to take the Cerberus, which was like a huge mistake. I linked into Dark, targeting the Whitebinder. My opponent goes Drew's Worm, target Whitebinder, and then I go Thrust for Gold Sark, and then I start comboing off, and then I combo into GWC to gain the life points back. Yeah, it sucks to win in time, but like, you know, time rules are a thing, and we gotta live with them. So yeah, those are the Link 2s. Moving on to the beautiful Link 4s, we have 4 Link 4s. We have Everybody's Friend, Access Code Talker. This helps you close out games. Also, it provides extension in some lines. Obviously, never turn 1, but in like some turn 3 scenarios, you can like access code, banish your Malice links, and then revive them. It's very, very strong that way. For the other freaking Frains anime Link 4, we have Firewall Dragon. Now, a lot of people cut Firewall Dragon, and it makes me sad, because Firewall is really cool. Obviously, we're not playing Dotscaper, because that's kind of a bad card, and it's a brick, too, so I wanted to cut the Dotscaper. But that does mean that we have some less impactful combos. Most of the one-card combos end on Firewall, with a set GWC to revive the Whitebinder. So you can GWC for Whitebinder, gain 23, put it under the Firewall, so you have the Firewall bounce, Whitebinder banish your guys, Whitebinder trigger to set. So it's like 2 interruptions, a whole 1-card combo. It's pretty conservative, but like you usually have that backed up by hand traps, because if it's a 1-card combo, you have 4 other cards in your hand. So yeah, this is like the base Malice board, and it is very, very good. Also, if you start with Underground, you kind of have to go through Firewall Dragon, just because you don't have enough material to make anything else. Yeah, I love Firewall. He's a good boy. Moving on to something a little bit more disgusting, we have Nightmare Griffin and a Bow. So, the Nightmare Griffin combo is kind of crazy. It's maybe a little bit greedy, but essentially the idea is that you are able to you go for Whitebinder, you link the Whitebinder into Red Ransom, you use the GWC you set off of the Whitebinder to bring back Red Ransom, or sorry, other way around, yeah. You use the GWC you got from the Whitebinder to banish Red Ransom to bring back Whitebinder, then Red Ransom brings herself back, and then you link into Nightmare Griffin, you get the draw off of Griffin, and get to reset your GWC, and then you link into a Bow. So a Bow is a broken card. I almost never use the pop, but sometimes I use the revive. So most people say, like, you're supposed to revive Griffin, and yeah, that's good. But instead of reviving Griffin on your turn, I like to revive a random main deck monster, usually Chessy Cat, because some lines you don't get the Chessy Cat draws, because you have to link it off for Red Ransom. So, like, you have the Underground, you have the Chessy Cat in your graveyard, so you can bring back the Chessy Cat, then use the Chessy Cat draws, and hopefully you draw into another extender. So you can make a Bow, plus you make IP Masquerena with a Bow, and then you have the GWC for Whitebinder. So not only do you have the option to Griffin lock, but you do have the whole setup where you get the MTP07 banish, but you also have IP Masquerena for Heartscriptor, and that's a huge deal. Honestly, IP Masquerena for Heartscriptor won me way more games than Griffin ever did. The only time I actually used the Griffin lock to, like, lock someone was against the Odeon guy, who, like, specialed Fenrir, and I started panicking, and then I summoned Griffin, and then I no longer had to panic. So, yeah. That is the extra deck. I'm not playing any Metal Tronus targets, so I don't need those. I think everything here was pretty good overall. Maybe the Cerberus wasn't great, but like I could have gotten Chaos Huntered, so I'm glad I played it anyway. Dark didn't come up that much, but it was pretty useful. Yeah, I mean, I was pretty happy with the extra deck. Moving on to the side deck, I have a bunch of more hand traps. I am playing 3 copies of Artifact Lancia. This is for the Maliss mirror. It's also a cross-out target. I am playing 3 copies of Dimension Shifter. This is for White Forest and Blue Eyes, and generally for going second. So a lot of matchups you don't want to bring this in going first. But like the matchups you just auto when you do bring it in going first, like Memento, Blue Eyes is pretty good against, and White Forest, you bring this in going first. So you have to keep in mind that like your combos with Shifter are a little different. You either do the Firewall Whitebinder play, or you go for Heartscriptor. Don't try to do anything like super fancy, because not good. Because you don't have a graveyard, so don't go for the Griffin line, you goober. I saw some Malice players try to do that, and it was bad. For the final side deck hand trap, I'm playing Nibiru. This is for the Malice mirror, but it's also pretty good against Blue Eyes. But it's not as good against Primite Blue Eyes, so I didn't want to main it. I wanted to side it, and it turned out pretty good. I didn't use it that much because I only saw 1 mirror, but I was able to, like, it came up like once or twice. Yeah, it was pretty good. And then I'm playing the mandatory crossout designator. We need some way to negate Lancia, so that's what I'm doing. In addition to that, I have called by. So I got Lancia'd 6 times today. Sometimes I was able to play through it. Like half of the time I won those games, half of the time I lost those games. It was okay. Generally under Lancia, there's not a whole lot you can do. If you're getting Lancia when you're going second, you can chain to the Lancia because your opponent has monsters on board. And then like try to play through it with Bestials. But like it's kind of rough. There's not a whole lot you can do, but you do have outs. So that helps at least. And then additionally, I'm playing some thrust targets. I'm playing D-Barrier and Sanctum. None of these came up. I never needed them. Maybe you could cut them, but like, I don't know. I don't know what I'd cut them for. Maybe Ogre, Bell, perhaps. Yeah, those two seem pretty good. Ogre's probably pretty good because of Blue Eyes. Bell is decent in the Malice mirror, and it's like a cross-out target. Yeah. I think Dominus Impulse is just a good enough thrust target that you might not need these, but better safe than sorry, I guess. We'll see. But yeah, that is my Malice deck. I guess I can talk about matchups now. I played so much Blue Eyes. My only losses actually were to Primite Blue Eyes. I played 3 Primite Blue Eyes. I lost them all. Yeah, that deck grinds really well. Playing like Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Steers control with Drill Beam is ridiculous. It was very tough to play through that, and it showed in my results. They were all close matches, but like I still lost them all. I beat Mitsurugi Ryzeal. I beat Pure Ryzeal. I beat Gimmick Puppet Tier in the Odeon deck. I also beat Blind Second Bestial Blue Eyes. I don't know, man. Just Blue Eyes players, bro. That's all I gotta say there. I did win a really intense Malice mirror. And yeah, those were my matchups. Overall, the deck felt great today. And I'm proud to have gotten my invite at such a prestigious tournament like the Philadelphia Regionals. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate a like, and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh content. Have a great day.